Hey, you guys. So excited to be here. You guys have no idea. I know I just mentioned on Monday that I have started using Koala Go with my students. To see the excitement on their faces has been really the biggest motivator for me, even moving faster into moving all my students into Koala Go, because I had no idea the reaction in the beginning that they were gonna have, and then I found these really cool, different playgrounds, and a good friend of mine here, Deanna Terry, she actually found me about a year ago, and she had created, one of these amazing playgrounds, which I didn't even make the connection in the beginning, but you're gonna get to learn all about it here today. So stay tuned and learn, what is this all about? We are back, and we've got Deanna Terry here, you guys, and I'm so excited to have her, a fellow past reading interventionist who went through the reading interventionist program and Koala Go user. So, Deanna, tell us a little bit about yourself and your tutoring journey.
Well, I have lupus, so I taught in the schools for a while for several years as an assistant teacher and a tutor, and then was not able to work full time anymore. And so that's why I became an online tutor, which has been great because I can make my own hours and be my own boss and everything. So, so I love it. And yes, watching one of the videos that you did with an interview with somebody about Koala Go about a year ago. At that time, it was Koala 3D, and I started using it from that interview that you did, and it was amazing. It was the best virtual classroom I'd seen. So fun. But now they actually have a new program called Koala Go. At first, I wasn't excited about them changing it because they said they were getting rid of Koala 3D, and I was very upset about that. But once, but once I realized what the vision was and what they were actually doing, it's amazing because you can do anything as teaching goes and as far as creativity goes.
Yeah.
It really is limitless. So yeah, it's been
I feel like
great.
they listen to all the feedback that teachers have given over the years and tutors have given over the years to just really make it a very robust system. So if you guys are using Zoom with your students and you're looking for something that is just completely different, Koala Go is definitely that tool. And uh, and so I purchased your aquarium playground. I'm going to show you guys what the aquarium looks like in a little bit. But I purchased the aquarium and then I think it was a few days later, you sent me a message on Facebook and you're like, "I'm so thankful you introduced me to koala." And you said that you had actually started using the techniques that I had taught inside of the reading interventionist program, and that one of your students had dyslexia and you guys didn't know it at that point in time, but they stayed with you. And
Right.
in that year, he went from pre-K reading level to an early third grade level through
Yeah.
using both Koala Go and the Reading and Interventionist,
Mhm.
system. How
Right.
amazing is that? Congratulations, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah. I mean, he did the work, but the thing was that I just think, he needed that one-on-one attention. And yeah, it was really hard for even I think for the school to tell that he had dyslexia when they tested him because I used your screener and he could answer everything except the questions that, were actually questions like, do you see or do you have a hard time remembering names, things like that. But all the
Mhm.
blending and all those kind of things he could do just fine. So, but it did turn out that the school tested him at the end of the year and he did have dyslexia. So, but yeah, I think using Koala definitely, helped a lot because it helps to keep the kids' attention. Um, you know, my student right now that I have is sixth grade student, Dylan. He said the whole thing himself. He said he said it used to be that when I was using Zoom or even Koala 3D, the beginning program they had, he said it used to be that I didn't really like coming home from school and having to tutor because who wants to do schoolwork all day and come home and do more schoolwork? And he said, but now I think about it all day long at school and I can't wait to get home to do it. So, and really that says it all. So
No, and me as a teacher, I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Me too.
constantly thinking about different ways and things and creativity and what can I do this time or how can I excite them this time with it um and I've been asking their feedback, my students' feedback, and they are just so excited about it. Now, if you guys are interested in joining us, I have a free webinar next Tuesday. It's called How to Close the Reading Gap a Full Year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction. And you can join me for free. Just click the link inside of the description, sign on up. It is next Tuesday. And this is pivotal because I think when we talk about there are two things that parents are looking for when they have a child that's struggling with reading. They are looking for, and this is a weird one. I thought it was weird in the beginning because I would always ask this question at the end, but they would say, "Did you have fun?" And I thought that is a weird question. Why would a parent ask that of their kids? Did you have fun? And then I had my daughter go through reading tutoring, and I looked at her at the end of the session and I said, "Oh, did you have fun?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a normal question that actually parents really ask." Like, we legit want our kids to have fun when they learn, but they don't always have fun when they learn. And that's where they
Right.
start to get like they tap out a little bit. Legitimately, these kids are having so much fun. They're asking if they can download this tool and play it in between sessions, and I'm like, "No, it's only for our tutoring sessions. Would you like to continue to use this again for our tutoring sessions in the future?" And they're like, "Yes." And like you said, it doesn't matter on the age. You've got 6th graders who are using it. I've got kids as young as 4 years old right now using it, and I honestly thought with that 4-year-old, I'm like, will they be able to figure this out? Because I can't like,
Mhm.
you go into the playground, which you guys will see very soon. You go into that playground and you think, "Will they be able to know how to use these controls? Will I be able to teach them?" Yeah, that's not even an issue.
They can do it better than we can.
I know. They've been playing Roblox and
It
Minecraft, and
it's the
so
adults that have the problem.
yes, I literally had to use their 24/7 little button that they have on the side because
Mhm.
I didn't know how to move around and that you had to push the eyeball in order to move
Mhm.
around and see it like 3D and that kind of
Right,
stuff.
right. Yeah, it's super user friendly, but like with everything else, it's you have to know, what to do. And that's the reason why like I've started a YouTube channel of tutorials also for
Yeah.
Koala. And so, because it's really not difficult. It's just knowing, you push this button for this. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I would say I think this is the cool part because we all get scared when we're like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to learn a whole new system." I mean, I've been
Mm,
there, I've done that, I know how to use Zoom really well, but I'm gonna compare
mhm.
this to my brand new car. So I just got a Lexus, which I love to pieces. I've never had a nice car like this in my entire life, and I finally am at the point where I've been able to um, buy something I've really, really wanted, but you drive it a little different. Like, park is a button. There it doesn't use any keys. And it's, a hybrid. So there's just, like, different pieces, like, because there's no key, they have the wipers on the right-hand side. I've never had wipers on the right-hand side. Well, how long do you think it took me to learn how to use this car? Take a guess, Deanna.
Oh, 2 weeks.
No, 2 days. 2 days. And I'd
Oh,
say
good.
the same thing inside of koala. It's like this it's very
Mhm.
similar experience because once you go on in and you start using it, it's like a 2-day experiment. Like, you go on in there, use it with one of your students or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're really getting comfortable with the different pieces and how that works. So I think that's really important. So you created this aquarium playground. How in the world what inspired you to create it?
The fact that I love aquariums, I love ocean everything. It actually was super fun. Like just building it was just really fun every day, and just because I do love all of that that kind of thing. But I just yeah, it's crazy because honestly, like the first 2 weeks I was using it with my student, he's played Roblox and Minecraft before and everything. He had no problem at all knowing how to build things. He just jumped right in and built a house really quick. I had never done any of that before. So I had never, even walked with the avatar before and things like that. You know, um, and so I was thinking it was going to be a long time before I would learn how to build things like he did. I was like, I wish I knew how to build stuff because that would be really fun. And literally 2 weeks later is when I started building the aquarium. And by at that point, I I knew how to do enough of it to actually be able to just kind of create it as I went along and everything. So, there were things I learned here and there from other people in the Koala program that build playgrounds, but most of it just it comes pretty naturally, I guess. Once you kind of get what's going on, it's pretty easy. Um, yeah, so I just was like, well, I'm just going to make an aquarium and we'll put whatever teaching activities in there and the castle and everything. And yeah, just it took a couple months to do, but it was my first playground, so it's faster now.
Right, well, everything that we do always takes a little bit longer, right, as we go through that
Yeah.
process and everything, so, but I know you guys wanna see a sneak peek at this thing, don't you? I know you're like, "What is this aquarium playground that she's talking about?" You've gotta see it, so I'm gonna share my screen so Deanna, and myself can show you what this looks like. We are going to so the playground is just clicking that little squirrel-like thing, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to dive deep into this world, and you're gonna see me come on in on a parachute. Psh, what a landing. I mean, this is like a mic drop moment for these kids. When they
Yeah.
see this, they're just like,
Yeah.
"What? I get to, like, just fly on into here?" And I think it's really like, I'm sure it takes time for, like, just, like, the whole room to get set on the computer, but how
Mhm.
brilliant to put it as, like, you coming down on into it while it's getting all
Yeah.
set up. I think it's actually a very brilliant process and super
Mhm.
excited about being able to share this with you guys. So here it is, it's loading. There are lots of, pictures and things, but it's
Yeah, I
gonna
have
be
a lot of
worth
images in
it.
this one, so so some of them load a lot faster because they don't have as many images, but I have a lot of images in
Yeah.
this.
So here you go. You can see us coming on in and zooming on into the playground. I'm actually gonna make my screen here a little bit bigger so that you can see even the buttons at the bottom there. There we go. So as you see here, I am coming on in. Now, in order for me to move, there's a couple things I can do. I could just start moving by like clicking my button and to a spot and move, or I can move into this first person view and I can start kind of like really just walking around this beautiful environment. Now, one of my favorite features as we come on in, you guys, is the photo wall. So I've been using the screen capture here to get, like, my students' pictures in front of the photo wall. Is that how you use it too?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just like,
brilliant.
"Oh, well, they usually have some kind of picture taker at aquariums. We'll just put a
Yeah.
a wall there, and they could take a screenshot."
Oh,
And yeah, it's cute. One of the teachers used it to take pictures of her students and then put a little map of the world and drew lines from the students' pictures to where they're located in China and different things. So that was really cute.
oh, that is really cute. How
Yeah.
fun. Um, okay, so then over here, you have your buying your tickets. So, you enter. My students always ask this question as soon as they come on in, "What happens if I fall in the water?" And then I say, "Let's dive in."
Uh-huh.
How
That's the thing. You can do that.
Woo! Look at that, how fun is that, right? So fun, and
Hmm.
it's so beautiful. Look at all of these beautiful images now that we have of this, and then you've even added, like, things for them to do while they're inside of here, like being able to find the items on the table, on the coral reef. I love that we can use this focus tool to then take a
Yeah.
look here and be able to move
Hmm.
this, and if you unlock it, we can rotate around like this, and if you
Hmm.
ever find that so that's what that button is for there, and then I can return to walk around and be able to see everything that is inside of here. You even have some comprehension questions, things for them to read on this table over here, some comprehension questions over here, kind of like it really, like, engaged on my students. They started doing the activity without me even asking them to, which I found really, really
Hmm.
funny. Like, one of my kids, he's, like, reading the first question, he's like, "Which animals worked for the US Navy?" And he's like, "I know, I know." I'm like, "Oh, do you?" And he, like, guessed the wrong answer, and I'm like, "I'm not sure if that's the answer, can you prove it? I think that all of the information's on these cards over here, can you prove it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's actually not what I thought it was." And, he was able to change his thinking based off that information, so I thought that
Uh-huh.
was just so cool, to be able to do. And we
Hmm.
just keep walking around and all this kind of stuff. And, did I see that there are videos somewhere too that you kinda built into it too?
I have some links for a couple of videos, and then on the slides, on the whiteboard,
Got it.
slides, it has those, yeah, it has those YouTube links for some videos to watch, some of the cool like feather duster
Yeah.
animals and things like that. So yeah,
I love
yeah,
it. I would
and
I'd love
one
to know from you guys too. What do you guys think of this? Do you think this is awesome or what? Definitely tell us inside of the chat. And if you have any questions, we're going to do a new segment at the end where we answer all of your questions, and Beth is going to send them to me. And we're going to answer your questions. So if you guys have any questions at all, please let us know. We'd love to be able to answer them for you guys. So, I mean, just
and it
amazing.
may just be because it's on Zoom, but it looks like it's running a little slow. So it does actually, you can walk a lot faster than this. You can also run by holding down the shift key.
Oh, you're teaching me
But
something new. I did not know you could run by hitting the shift key.
yes, if you hold down the
Really?
shift, yeah,
Oh. Oh, look at this.
you hold
So
down the shift
Joanne is,
key, you
like,
can go
learning how to use
faster.
this better. Look at that. I'm gonna dive into I don't I only have walking feet, like, at this point inside of here.
Hmm.
Like, I don't have running feet. Well, I don't
So
know if I could do that without something bad
depending,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna fall
depending
back in is what we're
sometimes
gonna do.
on depending sometimes on how many people are using it at the time, it can be a little bit slow like this. And if you reload it, it usually will work normally. Um, and so it'll, you can go a lot faster through when you're running, you can actually go pretty fast through here. um,
Yeah.
and so, but also since you mentioned the focus tool, so the focus tool is awesome because a lot of times people worry that their student is going to just, is going to wander off in the playground, and and they do, um, to look at everything or whatever and not focus on the activity. And so the focus tool makes it so that they can't see anything except for what you have
Mhm.
focused on.
Right.
And they can't move, they can't walk around the aquarium or whatever playground until you turn the focus tool off. So
Yep.
it's very useful.
It is really useful. There are just times where you're just like, "All right, we're in our next activity now," and you can hear sometimes the kids make this little noise, like, like, out of
Yeah.
their mouth, like, "Oh," because you could feel they were, like,
Yeah.
kinda, like, sucked on into the screen, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I guess this is where we're
Yeah.
gonna be." I sometimes have
Yeah.
had my students too, like, they don't have their walking feet yet, right? And they're just kind of
Yeah.
like, "I don't know how to move around or do this." I'm like, "That's alright, I got you, girl. I got you, boy, whatever you
Uh-huh.
are," you know? And I will just, like, come on
Yeah.
in, and I will touch that focus tool, like, "Here we are, alright, let's do our activity," and whatever that
Hmm.
is. Somebody just mentioned too, "Are these waves really moving?" Yes, the water is really moving.
Yes. And
Isn't that
the
cool?
cool thing is, yeah, right now the only thing they have that moves in the playgrounds is the water, but they are working on getting some other things. It's funny, the Koala 3D had little cows and sheep that wandered around and fell over every once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah, 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 I
it was
remember that.
really it was really cute. They're actually working on putting that in the playgrounds, and so there will be, I think, more moving parts in the playgrounds
Oh,
eventually.
sure. Sure, it all
Yeah.
takes time, every single one of
Yeah.
those things, and then they have to prioritize that, right? Like, is this the most important thing right
Mm.
now for them to focus on? So,
Right.
it's always,
Right.
I'm sure, like, a time management issue and all of that
They
kinda stuff.
the thing One of the best things about Koala, honestly, is the people who are running it are incredible. I don't know how they do everything that they do. And because they're getting so many requests for features that students bring up or teachers bring up every day, and they, keep up on that really well. And as far as like the the little 24/7 button, they are available 24/7, which I love. And they respond immediately and figure out your problem every single time. And so it's
Yeah.
just, they seriously are, I mean, honestly, they're the best customer service I've ever had from any
I've never
company.
yeah, I've never experienced anything like it in my life either. Like, when
Yeah.
I was, struggling at one point in time with being able to find your alphabet room because I didn't know how to jump yet.
Oh,
So and
uh-huh.
I didn't know how
Right.
to find the alphabet room because there's, like, even a room over, like, right over, like, there's, like, what do you call them? Like, knights in shining armor,
Uh-huh.
and then you
Yeah.
have to go up the
Hmm.
stairs. I'm like, "I cannot figure out how to get to the alphabet room. I see it, but I can't
Uh-huh.
figure out how to get there."
Right.
Lady came right on in, and she said, "Let me help you." She's like, "Do you know how to do this yet? Do you know how to do that yet?" And then she, like, showed me how to jump and move, and do all of that, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden I was like, "Wait a minute, I think I found it. There's stairs over here. Let's jump up the stairs." And when we got up there, I found it, and I was all, like, all excited, but I've never had somebody who was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
let me come on in and help you right now. Give me a link to your room."
Right. Right. And they've done that with me several times that, when I was first learning how to do it too, just jump on with you in the classroom and figure
Yep.
out what's going on. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really great.
That is
So
so cool. How did you
yeah.
build underground?
So it's funny because I just did a tutorial on this actually. But there's different ways to, well, there's a couple different ways to do it, but basically in my tutorial I show how you start out with a layer basically on the water. There's ways to adjust the water and all that. So you start out with a layer that you have the water down, move down, and you just build that layer, and then you move the water level up. So then that level is underground or underwater.
Oh,
And then I show how you just stack blocks on top of each other to build the next layer up. So yeah, there's a tutorial video on how to do that. And and
perfect. And what's the name of your
it's
channel?
it's just Deanna Terry right now. So
Great.
yeah, I was thinking about changing it, but I haven't yet.
No need
So just
to.
Deanna
Deanna
Terry.
Terry, check it out, guys.
Yep.
Deanna Terry's channel. She'll show you how to like build inside of there. That's awesome. I'm going to be checking that out
Yeah.
because my kids have been loving it so much that I've gotten like different brainstormed ideas from my students. Like I'm making a phonemic awareness playground, where I take like different nursery rhymes and I take they'll do like rhyming activities and they do specifically like the little coin, like move the coin up like the Elkonin boxes so they can hear the sounds and words and using words from the nursery rhyme or things that match that nursery rhyme. And it's been a lot of fun. So I've already started creating phonemic awareness world because you inspired me.
That's
I was just
cool.
like, how fun is this? Is really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Have you explored how high up into the city you can go yet?
So another incredible thing that they did recently was they actually, this is since the time that I built the aquarium. So the aquarium went as high when you're on that top level. I don't have the ceiling above you because that was as high as it could go. But it actually
Wow.
turned out well that it was open air.
Yeah.
But now they actually have doubled the size and the height. So you can actually have like 5 levels of land
Wow.
or ocean, whatever you want. I mean, it's huge. And then it's 128 blocks by 128 blocks is the biggest. So yeah, I mean it can be enormous. But let me just mention, there are a lot of playgrounds now available to get. So they have everything, from a superhero playground that Emily Radecki did that, where you can do different a lot of different teaching activities, but you also can find the superhero by following clues and things like that. They have things for ESL, for identifying clothing and colors, and I mean there's a lot of different playgrounds. But you also have the thing with Koala Go that I love is the fact that you don't even have to use the playground if you don't want to. You can
Mhm.
still It's still way better than when I used Zoom
Yeah.
because the whiteboard, people make slides and import the slides into the whiteboard, or I just grab images and put them in there, and you can make whatever worksheets you want to on the whiteboard and all those things. But they also have the shared browser, and
Mhm.
there's a whole library of shared browser activities with all the word wall and all those kind of activities that you can go in and use them. So using all three of those together, I mean,
Yes.
I never have a time when I'm like even if it's like 5 minutes before I'm supposed to tutor and I haven't, figured out what I'm tutoring for the day, I never have a time where I can't just grab something, real quick that we're working on
Yeah.
because there's so many activities available.
Yeah.
So
I love that too. I do love that I can share my screen. 'Cause I have all my PowerPoints, I don't wanna upload all of those on in there, they're, 100 pages each and all of that kinda stuff, so
yeah.
I just still wanna share my screen with that, just do that activity real quick, and then I wanna go on into the shared browser, and then sometimes we'll go on in and we'll do some moving of the letters and stuff inside of their playground, um, And if it's a 30-minute session, then we're done, right? Like it's real quick like that. But if
Right.
they have an hour session, you have a little bit more time that you can kind of play with it and do those kinds of things. But yeah, just so incredible. And I love the fact that like really, well, I was talking to Xavier a few weeks ago, and he said our goal is to help teachers and tutors make money. Like that is our major goal, and that's my goal too. Is to empower teachers and tutors to reach more students and earn more money. Like that is my big goal. And so I loved when he said that because it really resonated with what my goal is as well. And they have now allowed it so that you can monetize um, from these playgrounds that you spend an enormous amount of time creating that you can just reuse
Yeah.
in your sessions. So
Yeah.
how has that impacted you know, your income stream? Have you been
It's been
able to
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been awesome because yeah, because again, having lupus, well, and now they've diagnosed me with fibromyalgia too. So
Mm,
so, having those issues where it's hard to know from it's really hard to have a schedule. Because you never know from one minute to the next how you're going to be feeling, right? So being able to create the playgrounds and sell them and I can just make those on my own time. They're fun to make, and then it's just it's in the marketplace and people can buy them whenever they want to, and it's been pretty steady. So so that's really really nice as far as that goes
mhm.
as well. And it's funny, we were talking about it on a Zoom thing that Koala did, and somebody asked about students building a playground if they could put it in marketplace, and they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. And if as long as if you put it under your name and you're you know take care of getting the money to them or whatever. So I mean,
Right.
even the students can build something and put it in there. So it's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. So, so cool. Yeah, you would have to take care of that monetarily. It kind of feels like
Yeah.
that would be like for me that would be a mess. I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
like
It
go that
it it
route.
could be a little bit. It could be a little bit. I think they did say there could be a way to set it up like under the parents' account so the money just goes straight to them so that it's not, because it would be tricky if it was going to you and then you have to get it to them. So
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Like
yeah.
that would be very not something that I
Yeah.
would want to get into, but I definitely am more interested in creating my own playgrounds that
Mhm.
are gonna be more educational based and,
Right.
really hit on the skills that I need to focus on as a reading tutor that I know other reading tutors would absolutely love. What I love
Yeah.
is it's not an oversaturated place yet too.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
there aren't a lot of options when you go on in that you're gonna get stuck at the bottom of the list and nobody's ever gonna see it. So there's a
Right.
lot of opportunity here, you guys. I've been telling people that I am a predictor. I'm a mind reader of the future. Okay, I'm not really. I just have a good sense of I have good it's not a psychic sense. It is more of a knowingness that
Mhm.
this is something to get into right now.
Mhm. Definitely.
I'm not saying that in 2 or 3 years that it's gonna have the same kind of thing, but this is like a rock bottom, like not rock bottom, but a bottom like a base. Like right now, like
Right.
you get in now and start building a name for yourself inside of here, and I think some amazing things can happen, be very, very lucrative. Like if you go into Teachers Pay Teachers and you try to put something on up, you're gonna have to invest a lot of time right now in getting that in front of people for them to see it. Right, it's
Mhm.
not as easy for it to just get found. Kinda like in the beginning days of the YouTube videos, right? It was a lot easier to find a YouTube video, that, like, you put on out there than it is now because it's so oversaturated. Koala Go is not oversaturated, so n get in now, ground level. That was what I was trying to come up with, ground level. I love it,
And
so
and one
definitely.
thing I'll tell you on that too. I haven't used it myself, but because right now I'm just not tutoring as a whole lot of kids because of the lupus. But Koala also has a place where you can list your classes,
Mhm.
and so people can go to, well, Teach with Koala is the .com is the website, but I'm trying to remember what it's called, but there's something, that you can actually go to and, find a
Yeah,
class that you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's really nice too that they have that. Mhm.
They do, and they take 10%, but you guys, here's what they do. They invest that 10% in advertising. And I think that's really cool because they're telling you exactly where the money is going. They're not making a profit from that, just so that you know, because teachers can get a little funky about that sometimes. But it does allow you to start playing with some group classes if you don't have like a core group of students you're working with specifically that you know could benefit from a certain skill. You could design and create a group class that you just focus on something specific and then have kids join it. Like, I was thinking, like, I would create, like, a phonics course maybe over the summer and throw it on up there and see, do I have people that are interested in coming on in and learning those basic phonics skills that will take them to the next level in their reading over the summer, and doing it inside of Koala Go and just, I don't know, giving it a go, right? Giving it a go.
Yep.
And just seeing, like, does it am I able to fill those classes? Because you go to a place like Outschool, I'm gonna tell you, oversaturated.
Mhm,
Oversaturated. So, if you're trying
mhm.
to get an Outschool class found, how likely is it that your class is gonna get found? Not likely. So, you have to actually do the work for people to find your class. So, I'm curious to kind of play with that a little bit and see, how lucrative can that be for doing those kinds of group classes and really making it a good opportunity for the kids to practice those skills, play games to practice those skills, really, get them so that when they go back to school, reading is just that much easier because they are able to apply those skills that they learned during their time with me. What are some insights or tips that you have for other teachers or tutors who are interested in creating their own playground and selling it?
I definitely would watch some of the tutorial videos first just because, like I say, even though it isn't that difficult, there's just little things to know, and so I have a playground, tutorial, that is just kind of telling you, how to build and how to use images and all those kind of things. And then I've got the one about the levels and doing underwater. And then Emily also has a few, and I think her channel is just Emily Riddicky right now too. I'm pretty sure, and she's got some videos on that also. But I also, you can join my Facebook group, which is just Miss Terry's Koala Go playgrounds and tutorials, and um, then I just answer everybody's questions on there and make whatever tutorial videos they ask for. So
Oh,
you can, so you can totally do that. Excuse me, and I'd be happy to make a video if you're stuck on something. So yeah,
I love that.
and
Teachers helping teachers, you
um,
guys. That's the kind of collaboration we're
oh
talking
yeah,
about, right?
yeah, like I love it. They have a koala Facebook group, and it is just that's all it is like seriously like people helping each other all the time, and so it's great. Yeah,
Mhm.
really fun.
Oh, amazing. I love it. I love it. Now, did I see that you're also creating like some kind of like video game playground or something?
Yes, yes,
Tell
that's
us
the one I'm
about
working
that.
on right now. So it is. I would share. Let me see if I'll let me share my screen or not. I'm not
Yeah, you should
sure
be able
because
to.
okay, it's giving me the picture of us and not of the Koala Go playground. So so I'm not positive if it's gonna let me do it or not. Yeah, it's going to the.
Oh, you just have
Let's see.
to, do the
Oh, there we go.
minimize that. There you go.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. So let me see. So this is where they have, you can see the green screen, right?
Mhm. Yep, we see it all.
The green with all the, okay. So this is where you have all of your activities and you can go to the marketplace to get other activities and things like that. So let me see my original here. So this is called Lagoonies Island Challenge because it's kind of based on Goonies, the movie. And yeah, it's going to be kind of more like a video game than the other playgrounds have been so far because you can time the kids jumping from block to block and from, doing different mazes and different things like that. Um, and so this is what it looks like at the moment. Um,
Look at that, so
but
cool.
yeah, yeah. So it's going to be fun. Like even the clouds, they jump from cloud to cloud and climb some stairs for the rainbow and things like that. And then inside the volcano, there's a whole big obstacle course, I guess you would call it, that they have to jump through to get to the top and everything like that. So But all along the way, it's going to have, educational activities. So the kids have to actually, um, oh, I would show you the inside, but that's going to take a while because there's a maze to go in there. I forgot about that. um, but I like to use a combination of like the clip art and the real images
Yeah.
from Canva and things like
Yep.
that. And that was something different with the aquarium because nobody had used real images in any of the playgrounds
Mm.
at that point. And so when I realized I could use, real images for it, I was like, oh yeah, that'll be make a big difference. So anyway, but yeah, it's great. You can have the kids can buy things like this chair and the fireplace and the sofa and the tables. Um, you give them gems that Koala actually gives you 300 gems a month when you join Koala Pro, which doesn't cost much at all. And then they can buy, there's a whole library of things that they can buy with those gems. And so let's see, let me show you real quick down here. So it's
I
fun for
know.
them too because they keep adding things. So they just added a bunch of space assets that they can buy.
Hmm.
And that's fun. And so yeah, after I finish this one, I'm planning on doing a space video game style playground also. So, and yeah, it's just so much fun to be able to just do, pretty much whatever you want to. And as far as teaching activities go, to be able to use these playgrounds to do, anything. Trying to think of a really good one to show you for as far as that already has a bunch of things that, oh, let me show you real quick. Let's see. Okay, that's the original. I'm not sure if the original has it or if it's the copy. So I always make a copy of every playground, when I buy it, and so that the kids can change things around in it, and you still have the
Yes.
original, copy. This one is Koala Zone 2050, and Emily Radecki did this one, and it's just got a whole lot of rooms in it that you can use for teaching. Um, Looks like it's not the one that let me see if I can find the one that, so I took that one and one of the things I did because we were working on reading comprehension was that the passage I found for him to read was talking about how to play chess. So I took this that Emily made, the playground that Emily made, and I just put a bunch of chess pictures all along. There was a really long hallway, so I just made a game board by putting the sticky notes on the floor, and then just put the chess images along there, and then I have sticky notes with all of the questions and the passage on it. So he reads the questions, then reads the passage, and then answers the questions, and he can win gems at the end of the game if he gets
Oh,
there first.
fun.
So yeah, it's really nice. They even have a dice for you to use. So
Yes.
yeah, so there's all sorts of things that you can do with these, and it's just really fun
It is.
to
There are just so many fun features.
yeah,
And, this
yeah.
summer, my whole goal is to really be teaching people about gamification
Mhm,
in our tutoring and in our marketing strategies for letting people know about
mhm.
what it is that we do. So,
Yeah,
I think that this is a great connection with it. I mean, gamification, a lot of times we think about that it's just like playing video games or that kind of stuff, but that's not what gamification is.
right,
Gamification is, understanding the way the brain works and what
right,
motivates us, right? And some of us, we are intrinsically motivated, and some of us are extrinsically motivated, and doing certain tasks will change whether we're intrinsically or extrinsically motivated. So even though I may be
right.
intrinsically motivated to do schoolwork, you know, I might be extrinsically motivated to do housework, right? Maybe I need
Right,
praise or maybe I need
right.
something else, like something on the exterior, right? It's not the same, like, I'm just intrinsically always motivated to do everything. No, it's not gonna happen. But our kids are the same way too. Like, again, like you mentioned, our kids are not intrinsically motivated to do their reading sessions with us.
Right. Right.
We can be as playful and fun as we want to with our beautiful shining personalities, but that can only go so far sometimes, right? But you add
Mhm.
in this element that is something that they really love,
Yeah.
and you think about all the different ways that you can gamify it to bring in their interests. You're going to spike up their adrenaline, which is going to make them more open to learning the things that you are teaching them.
Mhm.
I think it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
I had students, we've all as tutors have had students who don't want to do the work. And even as Dylan told me, he told me I do not like reading, but he doesn't argue with it at all when we're playing a game like that. He just goes ahead and does it. Um, and even before, Koala Go, when I was using Zoom, I was still using education.com for the games and the leveled books in there
Mhm.
because yeah, they have to have some kind of learning, game that, keeps their attention, something that is fun because it is otherwise if it's just boring, they're not going to learn as much or as quickly. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do love too with their co-browser that they have the ability to, the student can move everything around. I don't have to give them access to my controller.
Mhm.
They just have
Right.
if you all you have to do is just make sure that you have given them access to use the controller, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Right.
incredible because now my students can actually do all of the activities, whereas before I sometimes had to talk them through it. They'd give me the
Mhm.
answers and I would click for them. They love being able to click.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So if
Anything
they're
they can do
doing
on
it,
their own for
yeah,
sure.
anything they can do
Yeah,
for their
anything
own,
they
they
can do
love.
on their own. And then the nice thing is too that the teacher has total control and Koala because you can turn off every, if they start scribbling all over the whiteboard, you
Turn it
can
off.
turn off their ability to draw. So,
Oh, it's
so
so
you
fun
have
watching their
complete control
expression when
over.
that happens. When that
Yeah.
happens, they're like, "Wait a minute, I can't draw anymore." I'm like, "I know, I had to turn it off." Any ideas
Yeah.
why?
Like that
I
picture.
always like to get them to, like, tell me why they think maybe I would have turned that off on them versus me being like, "I turned it off because you were doing this." They'll always argue with
Right.
you if you state it a different way. They're like,
Hmm.
"I wasn't scribbling," or "I wasn't doing this," and you're just like, "Any idea why that happened? Like, why would I do that?" Like, "I was
Hmm.
scribbling?" "Yeah." But don't worry, I'll turn it back on if we need it later on, if we need it,
Hmm.
and then we can use it and do it that way. Also, I find writing activities a lot easier for the kids now too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, and they actually just added the feature recently to be able to write directly in Playground. So before they had the sticky notes, but you had to get a sticky note and then you could type, in the sticky note. But now you can actually just use the
Right.
draw tool and yeah, and write right in it. So that's nice too. So
Very
yeah, like I
nice.
say, they're adding new features like seriously every week they have a bunch of new features. So
Yeah.
they're keeping busy over there for sure.
For sure. I love it. Oh, Beth, if any questions have come on in, send them to me and we will answer them here. I absolutely love when we find tools like this that they're exciting for the kids. It is something completely different that doesn't exist anywhere else. I get approached by like a whiteboard company, I would say, I don't know, at least once a week,
Hmm.
different companies being like, "Check out this, my amazing platform," pretty much, right? And check this out or check
Mhm.
that out. And I'm just like, I'm good, thank you. Like I'm good with what I've
Mhm.
got. It's whatever I change to, it has got to be so good, guys. It is going to take a lot to get me to switch because I really have mastered how I have used the one tool that I'm using. Right? And so to switch around how I do my teaching and that kind of stuff, I'm not just going to do that for any random whiteboard company, right? So
Mhm.
um it's got to be significantly better. If I can't do it inside of Zoom, what feature is there? Is it useful for my students? I'm constantly thinking these things through. Like when I went from Skype to Zoom, I love that Zoom had the virtual backgrounds. I love that they had the ability to share the cursor, share that with your students that you could easily write inside of the program. Like those were features that were not in existence in Skype, and that
Yeah.
is what motivated me to move over there. I wanted to move into Koala Go when it was 3D. I really wanted
Mhm.
to, but my students glitched
Mhm.
in and out.
Oh,
And
mhm.
so I'm like, "Well, this isn't gonna work." Like,
Mm.
if they can't get
Yeah.
into the classroom because 'cause they're on a Chromebook,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
work. So I was just like,
Right.
"Well, I guess it was a good try here," but
Mhm.
unfortunately, if 50% of my
Mhm.
students are doing this, like, it doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense for me to move on over to this board. I really don't wanna,
Right.
like, mess up my brain too much and thinking about where do I have to go for this next session, because 'Cause I'm working with 20
Mhm.
students. So to go
Right.
from,
Right.
"Oh, this student is in Zoom, this student is over in Koala 3" I can't live life that way. It
Yeah.
it would be so
Mhm.
frustrating. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
I'd have to say that I'd have to say, like, that's I'm when I saw I honestly, when I first saw Koala Go, I didn't know they had if they had the playground. I didn't see it at all. I didn't know you had to click the scroll
Yeah.
thingy. Did they have it right away?
It No, it's only
Okay.
been, yeah, that's the thing, as they were switching over to Koala Go, they just barely had, that you had the land and playground and you could, like, put a tree here and there, I mean, it was really simple, and that's why I was like, "Why are they changing to this when
Yeah.
Koala is so good?" But yeah, no, it took a couple months, but then when started seeing that what you could actually build in it, it made a lot more sense. So it's only been about 6 months, I think, that they've really had, all these abilities to do all of this stuff in playground. So it is relatively new. It is a great time to get in on it for sure. I'm sure their prices will be going up when I mean, I know that from, like, their Facebook group that there's like 60 people joining a day. So I mean,
Wow.
so it's going to go really fast. Yeah. So that's one thing that I would say for sure to yeah. Um, it's definitely going to be extremely popular, I think, for teaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, and because it is the only one of its kind at the moment, I mean, I'm sure that there will be some company that will copy it, but right now it's the only one of its kind, so it's
Yeah.
it's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think other people are gonna wait to see how popular does it become before they start going into something that deep and intrinsic, because that is
Mhm.
a very complicated system they have
Yeah.
created that is not easily
Yeah.
replicable.
Right. Right. No, I'm like, Ben is amazing because he is pretty much in charge of, he does all the playground stuff, and I just don't know how one person does it. So,
Well, they have a
yeah.
team now too, don't they? Or is it just Ben?
Uh-huh. No, they do have it. They definitely have a team of people, and they have more people now than they did when they were doing 3D. But Ben is pretty much, it seems like he's the one that, if you have any problems with playground at all, or if you want some new feature in playground, that's he's the one who takes care of it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Yay. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
joining me, Deanna. It
Oh,
was
you're
awesome
welcome.
having you inside of here and talking all
Oh,
about the
yeah.
marketplace and your amazing aquarium you created and your future.
Thanks for letting me
Uh,
do it because I love
yeah.
koala. I keep telling everybody about it. So I appreciate it a
She's
lot.
like a Koala Go ambassador. I
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
right.
I love
That's
it.
right.
I love it. And remember, if you guys haven't signed up yet to join us for the free webinar on how to close that reading gap, a full year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction, it's absolutely possible to do that. Even if you're not in Koala Go yet, if you're still in Zoom, you can still close that gap a full year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction. That is what I have been doing since 2010. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the secrets that I have. And then I'll be opening the doors to the Reading Interventionist program for those of you guys that want to come on in and join on this next round. Know that I am going to be sharing some more of the Koala Go elements. And making some new videos as well. So you can see it in both platforms of Zoom and Koala Go of how do I specifically teach that skill to my students using those different tools. So thanks for joining us, Deanna, and thanks you guys for being here.
You
And we will see all of you soon. Bye, everyone.
have a great day.